Welcome to Forum 360. I'm Stephanie York, your host today. Thank you for joining us for a global outlook with a local view. Today, we're here with Mark Greer, Executive Director of Akron 200, a non-profit corporation founded to receive funds and distribute grants to neighborhood groups that are planning celebrations as part of Akron's Bicentennial. Mark, a longtime City of Akron employee, is uniquely positioned to help plan, organize, and execute events for this momentous occasion. Thank you, Mark, for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me, Stephanie.
Absolutely. So we're here to talk about Akron 200, Akron's Bicentennial, and all the upcoming festivities planned around this exciting year. My first question to you is, what is a bicentennial? Is it a birthday? Is it an anniversary? What is it?
You know, I kind of like the birthday analogy.
Yeah.
You know, because it really is a celebration of Akron's 200th year and all of the rich and diverse history and culture, the innovation, the ingenuity, the legacy that have really shaped Akron and shaped so many of us who have lived in Akron.
Sure.
So I think when you're celebrating your 200th birthday, you have to do it big.
Go big or go home, as Dave Lieberth always told me.
Absolutely. So we are certainly looking to do so.
Great. And before we go into the details of the Bicentennial, tell us a little bit about yourself, the trajectory of your career, including how you became executive director.
Well, I was born and raised here in Akron, and I worked at the City of Akron for a number of years. I started as the Great Streets Administrator, which was a program that was geared towards revitalizing neighborhood business corridors.
Nice.
And then I also worked as the Small Business Program Manager at the city as well. And so prior to my time at the city, I worked in the nonprofit arena. I worked at Leadership Akron for a while. I was a teacher for about 12 years.
Wow.
And used to work heavily in the arts because I was actually a piano major back in college. So you know, life has its interesting twists and turns, and
yes, it does.
And I was actually on the Bicentennial Commission, which was formed as a mayoral commission, and when the nonprofit Akron 200 was formed, I was hired to be the executive director. And you know, I've worked a lot in the neighborhoods, and
Sure.
I have a passion for history. And so when this opportunity became available, it was one that I was certainly interested in.
So you were born and raised here, you said.
Yes.
You worked for the City of Akron.
Yes.
You've taught here. You recently ran for mayor.
I did.
You did. So you kind of like the City of Akron, huh?
I do. You know, Akron is home,
Yeah.
and I think that Akron has been such a part of who I am.
Yes.
Just like I think everyone who lives in Akron, or if you were born in Akron, even if you no longer live in Akron, you know that Akron really has a special impact on you.
It does.
And so no matter how far you go, I always say Akron will still remain home.
I love it. So Akron is devoting an entire year and numerous events to mark its 200th year. Why is it important for Akron to mark this in such a spectacular way? Like, you could just have one and done.
Exactly.
But we're stretching it out through the whole year.
Well, I think that, you know, it's really important that we talked a little earlier about go big or go home, but for a little context, the 1925 Centennial was really focused around 1 week in July of that year. And we, you know, really wanted to make sure, I think it's important that at the end of the bicentennial year, we didn't want anyone to be able to say, well, I really didn't realize it was going on.
Sure.
Or, you know, if I happened to be out of town.
Sure. I
one
was on
key
vacation that week.
Exactly, and then I missed it all. But we want to make sure that there is a part of the Bicentennial is happening not only throughout the entire year, but also it's very important to us that it's not centralized only in one place.
I love that.
This is not going to be a downtown Akron Bicentennial exclusively. We are going to be planning events and also implementing initiatives in all 24
Fabulous.
official Akron neighborhoods.
Wow, 24, that's a lot of events.
24.
Wow. Okay, so opening ceremony is at the Akron Civic Theater.
Absolutely.
Who's invited? Is the space big enough? And what do you envision opening ceremony to be like?
Yeah, well, we're really excited about this, and everyone is invited.
Okay.
All of Akron, including Akron expats. You don't have to live in Akron in order to come.
How are they going to fit there?
Exactly. We're going to try and fit as many people as we can in the Akron Civic Theater. It's going to be Wednesday, December 11th, 2024.
Okay.
And even if you can't fit inside the theater, we'll work on having some screens, probably, maybe in the night stage next door.
I like it.
So I think we'll have still ample space there.
Wonderful.
But we're really looking to not only celebrate our history and the legacy of Akron, but we'll be previewing a number of signature Bicentennial events.
Wonderful.
We'll have a lot of our arts and culture will be a part of that celebration. Kofi B is going to be our headline performer there.
Wonderful.
And we'll also have a few surprises.
Always surprises.
I can't talk about them yet, but
Okay.
but we're working on some things.
Okay.
And I think that it'll be a show that'll be very entertaining. You'll get some great information, some humor, and some lively entertainment, and then also really looking ahead
Great.
to Akron's next chapter. Because
Great.
our goal and vision is to really galvanize and engage all of Akron to come together as we kick off really our next 200 years. So I think that forward-looking vision is what we are so excited about commencing there at the opening ceremony.
Wonderful. People will be able to get online and get tickets.
Absolutely.
I assume it's a ticketed event type thing, but they'll be free.
Yes,
Yes.
it will be free. But yes, we will have reservations online.
Perfect.
You can log on to our website, which is akron200.org, and we'll be having a lot more information, and you'll definitely be hearing a lot more about it soon.
I'm sure. So another event in January is the celebration of Black history. What will that entail? And are other cultures being celebrated throughout the year?
Absolutely. So the event in January is actually an event that is coming from a partnership between the Akron Zoo and the Cleveland Green Book Project as well. And so they'll be celebrating African American history there in the Perkins Woods area.
Okay.
And this will actually not be the only event where we will be celebrating not only African American history, but history of all cultures in Akron. We'll be talking about Native American history.
Which is very big in
which
Akron.
is huge,
I mean,
absolutely.
Yeah.
And really celebrating all of the cultures and the history that have really formed the fabric of Akron. Every community, every neighborhood, every sector, we see this as an intergenerational series of events, and again, one that seeks to not only acknowledge, but really galvanize all of our communities into taking those next steps forward as well.
Sure. Past the 200, right?
Exactly.
Good.
Exactly.
And there's a few sporting events planned. I
We
mean,
do.
there's a bike-a-thon in Akron, a basketball tournament downtown, pickleball tournament at the Shaw JCC.
Absolutely.
How were these events picked? Will other sports be added, and maybe an homage to LeBron somewhere?
Yeah. So,
I mean-
so our 3-on-3 basketball tournament, that's going to be a huge event for us.
Sure.
Many people might be aware of the 3-on-3 basketball tournament that happened in previous years,
Sure.
Especially right outside of the Unknown clothing store in downtown
Yes.
Akron on Main Street. So we're working with the organizers of that event, and what's going to be special this year is that we're going to be launching Bicentennial Plaza, which Bicentennial Plaza, it's a special project for us. We're going to be renovating and activating a portion of Cascade Plaza, which also includes the back portion that is along Quaker Street.
Sure.
And so the basketball tournament will happen there in Juneteenth weekend.
Okay.
And it'll be in Bicentennial Plaza, where we're hoping to have some surprises there as a part of that. And there will be men's and women's divisions.
Very nice.
This year. We talked about the Bicentennial Bike-a-thon, which is going to be happening in June of 2025.
Okay.
We'll have a citywide route. It's a race. I'm sorry, it's a route and not a race.
Okay.
But we will have a citywide ride, which will touch all 24 neighborhoods.
That'll be really neat.
As well as we'll have some smaller routes for families and
Sure.
for children as well. But part of it, really kind of circled around where we want to pull Akronites out of their corners. I mean, I've done a lot of work in the neighborhoods over the past several years, and I was always, so interested in hearing from someone who, say, I don't know, lived in Northwest Akron, who said, you know what, I haven't been to Kenmore
Right.
in so long. I haven't been to Ellet.
Right.
We want to make sure that we're getting people out of their corners and to really experience all of Akron.
Because there's a lot to experience.
Exactly, definitely. And of course, you mentioned the pickleball tournament at the JCC.
Everybody
which
loves pickleball.
I just have to tell you, Stephanie, I was not aware how much of a phenomenon pickleball is.
Unbelievable.
But it's huge.
It's huge.
And I've also learned how there are kind of, more of the cutthroat players as
Oh,
well.
yes.
So we had to add in a division for those players who take it really
I think that was smart.
seriously. Yeah.
I think that was smart to do. So,
And as you mentioned, we're still looking at adding other events as well.
Sure.
There is plans of a kickball tournament
Oh,
as
I
well.
love it.
So.
I love it. Okay, I want to remind our viewers and those who may have joined late that we are here with Mark Greer, Executive Director of Akron 200, and the man in charge of the year-long celebrations and events marking Akron's 200th birthday. We are learning about Akron 200, what events will be held, and where, and why it's important to celebrate Akron's history. So arts and culture play a huge role in Akron's history. And I note that you have concerts planned and theater productions planned, including historical dramas. Let's talk about these a little bit. Tell me a little bit about the concerts.
Yeah, I think we're going to have a full calendar of concerts already, and we don't have all of them listed yet, but we've already got over 50 concerts that are going to be on the calendar.
50?
Yes.
Wow.
So
one a week.
Yeah, just about. I'm telling you, it's we certainly music, arts, and culture will be a huge component of the Bicentennial. And then when we look at theater
Yes.
productions as well, so Katie Beck, who leads the Gum Dip Theater and is also one of our Bicentennial commissioners, will be leading the outdoor drama that's
Okay.
going to be at Waters Park in North Hill. And we'll also be doing one that is a special tribute and homage to the 1925 Centennial, where the first Rodgers and Hart show, before it hit Broadway, had its world premiere in Akron, Ohio in the 1925 Centennial. At that time, it was called Dear Enemy. Now the show is called Dearest Enemy.
Okay.
And so it focuses on the Revolutionary War period, but Joseph Rubin of American Musical Productions, who leads a theater company in New York but was born and raised in this area, will be coming back. We'll be doing that production at Goodyear Theater.
Oh,
and
nice.
we'll be utilizing local actors and singers in that show.
Wow. So I always thought Dave Lieberth was the walking encyclopedia of Akron, but you're kind of up there too. All this history you got tucked away.
Oh, I'm just following Dave's lead. I'm telling you. Dave is, Akron's historian, and we're really happy to have him as part of not only the Bicentennial Commission, but Dave is the president of the Akron History Center, which is a leading project of the Bicentennial, and we're really excited that that's going to be opening in late November of this year. So it's really the perfect lead-in to the kickoff of the Bicentennial.
That's great, and the entire year-long project has had a lot of help from a lot of people.
Definitely.
And the list of commissioners on the Akron 200 board is impressive. I mean, they're hailing from the University of Akron, the City of Akron, Summit County, the Historical Society, elected officials, Summit Metro Parks, and more. Why is it important to have so many different organizations represented?
I think it's because, Akron, like any other city and community, it's a mosaic, right? It's our strength is based on the uniqueness, the diversity, the wide range of experiences that we have all had, and the organizations that really touch all parts of our community. And so it was very important to us that we had a wide range of experiences on the Bicentennial Commission, and then more so even after that, making sure that we're engaging all of Akron.
Really important. So how many people would you guess are involved in the planning? I mean, I've put on events before, and one event needs dozens of volunteers and staff.
That's for
so
sure.
I'm guessing there are a lot.
Yeah, so that's really kind of the perfect lead-in to our call for volunteers.
Well, good.
which I have to say, if you go on our website at akron200.org, right there on the home page, you'll see a sign-up application.
Wonderful.
For those who would like to volunteer, as well as a long list of events and initiatives of which we really need the help of all of our
Do you hear that, Northeast
Yes.
Ohio? Get on akron200.org and sign up to volunteer for these year-long of celebrations.
Definitely.
They need help.
We do. We do. I think, as you know so well, whenever you're talking about a year of events, and literally we will be having something every month.
Yep.
Kind of our busiest months will probably be, June through August, and I would include September in that as well. But we'll be having something each month of the year, and we want to make sure that there are really rich and impactful experiences for Akronites of all ages.
So the year of events and the entity Akron 200, is that funded by the City of Akron, or is there other organizations funding this?
So it is in part by the City of Akron, but as a nonprofit, we are also raising funds from around our community. We've already had strong support from a number of our local foundations, including the Akron Community Foundation, GAR, as well as corporate sponsors like Goodyear, Bridgestone, and so we're still in our capital campaign.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of opportunities for both organizations and also individuals to act as a sponsor for the Bicentennial, and we're just really honored about how our community has really stepped forward so strongly in order to make this an experience and a series of events that we will definitely not forget.
That's great. So I see there's a Bicentennial homecoming.
Yes.
What does that mean?
Well, that's a good question. I think so. So, homecoming, it's going to actually be a part of one of our core weeks of celebrations, which is going to be July 1st through the 6th, 2025. Okay. And homecoming, the theme of that is going to be Feature the Future. And so think of a live Akron lookbook where what we want to do is really highlight the opportunities, the industries, the investments that are not only currently happening in Akron, but those that are on the horizon.
Sure.
So yes, we want to call home Akron expats, and yes, of course, we'll have food, music, entertainment, but we also want to present and say, look, even if you no longer live in Akron, here are the reasons why Akron is a place not only for you to come to live and invest your time, but also to invest your resources.
Sure.
We want to really lay out, even by the 24 neighborhoods in Akron, okay, here are the opportunities. Here are the areas that are prime for development.
How are you going to reach these people?
Yeah, well, so that's an interesting question. That'll be a part of one of our big weekends. So July 5th, 2025, that's our homecoming date.
Okay.
And that morning, which is a Saturday, that morning we'll be having our Bicentennial parade, which will be downtown. And I just have to tell you, it's going to be the biggest parade anyone has seen in Akron for at least 50 years.
Wow.
So, and we're
I
not
don't know.
just
We
gonna,
had a LeBron parade.
Yeah,
we had it's going to be bigger?
This one is going to be big. And I'll just say this, we're not just going to walk down Main Street.
Oh.
So it'll be an interesting route. But after the parade, and in conjunction with the Bicentennial Food Festival that we'll be having as well, then our homecoming celebration will kick off in Lock 3. We'll have so many of our community partners, leaders in industry, commerce, manufacturing, higher education, arts and culture there, and as well as we're partnering with the Akron Rubber Ducks.
Oh, love the Rubber Ducks.
Who will have a home game that evening. And so I'll just say there will be some incentives as well for attendees.
Nice.
And we'll be having some Bicentennial bobbleheads at the game as well. And you'll find out more about whom. But
Interesting.
We plan on having a lot of engaging things going on that day.
Sounds exciting. So without giving away the farm, what will the closing ceremony be like? Do you envision a big party, or is it more like an Olympic closing ceremony?
Well, you are really teasing it right there. Yeah. So our closing ceremonies are going to be on Akron's actual anniversary date, which is December 6th, 2025. We are planning to be outside in Lock 3.
Okay.
Hopefully we don't have a Northeast Ohio blizzard.
No, we've had some pretty mild winters, so let's
so I think
hang on
it'll
to
be
that.
good. But plans are still ongoing, but I think it's going to be a great celebration to really not only kick the culmination of the whole year, but also, again, looking ahead to that next chapter.
So if someone asked you what's the one thing they should not miss during this year of events, what would you tell them?
Well, that's a hard thing. I think that definitely the Bicentennial Parade and the homecoming, and we're looking at having another event called Light the Night. Those are going to be, I would say, events you don't want to miss.
Sure.
We're going to have a Light the Locks event, which I'm really excited about. That actually may end up being one of my favorites, where
That'd be very cool.
we'll be kind of lighting up a large portion of the canal. And then I'll just say we'll have a Bicentennial Soapbox Derby race.
Oh, fun.
Which is going to be in the fall of 2025, but it'll be at night. So look forward to that as well.
Okay, last question. And you can give a quick answer.
Okay.
If you could have one thing magically appear for this year, whether it's a person, an attraction for an event, or an item, what would make you say, oh my God, this is it?
Oh, wow. Well, I think that one thing, one person. We've got some really well-known, high-profile people who were born and raised here in Akron. I think you know a few of them who I'm talking about. And so if we can have something where